And we're live. Hello, everyone. It's nice to join you on this Friday evening. Um, I I bring to you greetings of great joy, of great validation, and uh, I think that you will want to join me in my celebration when you hear what it is we're celebrating today, and that is the sweet taste of validation. You see, I watched something very interesting today. Sorry, let me wet my whistle, which I can't do. Ironically, I can't whistle. I don't know why. I got a full set of, you know, all other kinds of abilities, and I can't whistle. It's a weird thing, right? Anyway, drop me a like when you come in. Say hello. Introduce yourself. Make yourself known as we delve into the world of "I told you so." All right. And I want to say, before I go any further, I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Jan Gray, who did an amazing job putting together that interview. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. It's always a tie, but it's always a race to see who's going to get here, you or Garrett. Um, and it's nice to always see both of you or either of you. Um, but he did a wonderful job with that interview. And I want to say a special thank you to him because he really impressed me with the amount of work and amount of detail that he put into his questions about the things that we were talking about. And also because I don't really do interviews these days. I've pretty much shied away from that in many instances because I don't want to do them honestly. And so, hey, there he is, Webhead himself, GW Dub, Garrett. Wah, wah, wah. Dark Star, welcome to the show, buddy. Nice to see you, and belated happy birthday to you, my friend. All right. Um, but you read my post earlier where I said, you know, it's never been about the numbers. I've never, ever believed that, ever. This is why I don't pay for bots. I don't buy subscribers, unlike some people we could name and we know, right? And all of you, both of you, whatever, you're real. You're organic. You're live people who heard the message and came running. You know truth when you see it. You know it when you hear it. You know it when it's sitting right in front of you. And that's not as common of a skill as you might believe these days. But to to make my point, I really like the way that Jan approached me. You hear my cats back here getting along. um, but the way that he approached it really earned my respect. And so it made me, even though I'm reluctant to do interviews these days, uh, I decided to do it. Well, you know, um, what happens next is, and I don't let the cat out of the bag if you already know. If I've told you, shh, don't say. But let's just say someone extremely well known has reached out to me based on that interview. Interestingly enough, it was based on that interview. And they were impressed with the things that I had to say and the way that I say them, and invited me to yet another interview, which I was like, oh man. But they went to great pains to let me know how important this is, the kind of platform that I'll be represented on, and the type of representation that I'll be given. And oh my goodness, oh my goodness, you want to talk about a step up? I don't even want to say. I don't even want to say who it is right now. I would rather kind of let that mystery unfold in time. But trust me right now when I tell you, my lovers of immediate gratification, it will be worth the wait. It will definitely be worth the wait. We're in talks right now. We're collaborating because this isn't like a live interview where you're kind of sometimes treated like a commodity, if I can be honest with you. But this person's people reached out to me, and they have been nothing but absolute class the entire way, and really giving me my flowers. And speaking of getting flowers, I'm just getting all of my flowers lately. And I love it. The worm has turned. Did I not tell you? Did I not tell you? And you can think I'm superstitious. I'm not superstitious. I think I'm just like regular stitious, right? Maybe even tiny titious, but not that much, not superstitious. I just I see things and they make sense to me in a way. And I think there's a lot of people like that. We pick up on signs, we pick up on energies, we pick up on timelines and Mandela effects, and we notice things. Sorry, world. Some of us notice the world as it passes us by. And I could just sense it was like the eclipse was just like a pendulum, like symbolically swinging back the other way. And the good thing about a pendulum is that it swings just as hard in both directions, right? So, as bad as things that have been, and they have, and I know that, they are getting good. They're getting good. This is the timeline where we're allowed to win. If I were Doctor Strange, I would do this. This is our one timeline when we get to win. As messed up as it seems, as Jerry Springer, as this timeline appears to be, as Barnum and Bailey as reality has been, we are on the comeback. Because not only do I are high level people finally like reaching out to me like, no, you're the goods. I've got two different physicists that I have corresponded with. I sent my paper to them. Avi Loeb, as you know from the video I made prior, who seemed to really respect my math and my approach where I was coming from. Also, Dr. Ruth Kastner from the University of Maryland of Cambridge also read my paper and came back and said, wow, we're really kind of going down parallel lines here, aren't we? And that she found my paper interesting, and some of my math was actually, I think, kind of helpful. And they were both very generous with me and very upfront. They were just like, your math is like, this is that. Wow. And it was so gratifying and validating to be able to talk physics with physicists that it's like it's one of the ultimate highs, to be among your peers that maybe even if all of them don't see you as a peer. I don't have the paper, I just have the skills. So I've kind of given myself over time adopted this knowledge of physics, which has allowed me to kind of approach it from a different direction. And it's being noticed, which is so cool. And I'm very grateful for that. But then now I'm also starting to get that outreach from some of the bigger names in the UFO community. It's never been about how many subscribers I've had. That's my point. You understand? It's never been about how many likes I get or how many views, or it's never been about that. You see, for other people, it's about that, not for me, because I'm the real deal, and I'm rare. Even I know I'm rare. People with my experience, my education, and my experience, like investigation experience, my actual experience of abductions, and my level of physics. This is a very, very difficult thing to find, a difficult person to locate in the world. Even I know that. And I also know that when you fall into the 99th percentile, when you are in the top 1% of the world intellectually, or really in any way, but I think especially intellectually, being in the 1% makes you unrelatable to about 99% of the world. And according to the numbers on this channel, that checks out. That algorithm doesn't lie. But I want to add another, um, and I'm going to be a little cliche. I'm sorry, but because it's Ross Coulthart, I'm going to throw a shrimp on your barbie, right? As he dressed down Neil deGrasse Tyson today. Interestingly enough, it's just so funny to me how I just kind of keep ending up being right, you know. And I'm okay. I'm being a little bit of a jerk, but I'm not trying to be. It's just like when people are constantly telling you how wrong you are about everything, and then it comes out, oh, you were right all along, and these people. Are like blasting you and calling you names and belittling you when you're the one who's right. Oh man, when it's proven right, like that tastes good. Validation tastes like strawberries. I don't know if you know that because validation seems to be rare in this world these days, but it tastes just like strawberries. And I want some more. So let's talk about what he actually said because, oh boy, oh boy, he received a verbal scalding like I have rarely heard. a a rebuke of the highest order to the 25th power. Oh my gosh. So let me go through some of this. I mean, uh so should we start with the obvious? That's my question. Should we start with the I told you so's and the validation acceptance speech that I've prepared for this occasion? When people finally start to realize that what I'm saying is correct, are they going to pay attention? And I swear to you, and I can't prove this, it's like Ross read my book and then got really mad because he said, um, Ross Coulthart of News Nation, who I will admit has become a thorn in the paw of mainstream media and mainstream science as it pertains to UFOs, and honestly, someone I tend to like more than not, just snapped on the world's most outspoken astrophysicist, and they did it on the News Nation platform. Mm. We're talking about words like pompous bombast. Whoa, man. He called Neil deGrasse Tyson a pompous bombast. Someone got a word a day calendar for their birthday. But in addition to that, he said Neil deGrasse Tyson is someone who has postured as the authority of science, who is a rabid debunker and an arch skeptic, a rabid debunker, and postures as the authority on science. And he is so right. He is so right. Can we just, he is so right. And it's about time somebody said it beside me, you know? And he said that Neil deGrasse Tyson has ridiculed, stigmatized, and criticizes those who come forward with reports of incidents with non human intelligences. And Neil has ignored for years, like so much of establishment science, the growing weight of evidence. He says that Neil deGrasse Tyson uses arrogant dismissal and calls Neil deGrasse Tyson gallingly hypocritical and says his words should be noted and acknowledged and that Neil deGrasse Tyson should be ashamed of himself. Can we just, oh, snap, son? Oh, snap. Can we just take a moment just to put the gangster goggles on Ross Coulthart for a minute? Like, whoa, that is, that's fucking savage. He savaged him. This is a person who has no respect and only disdain for the world's mouthiest astrophysicist. And the thing is that he has like talked himself into a corner, unfortunately. And Here's and to go on, he says that Neil deGrasse Tyson, his words should be noted and acknowledged. And I just want to say, Ross, if you're out there, buddy, mate, they've been noted and acknowledged in grand fashion. Okay. And I sent a free copy, a free advance copy of Cosmic Blind Spot: Why Neil deGrasse Tyson is Wrong About UFOs to News Nation for Russ Coulthart in appreciation and praising him for his stunning and I mean breathtaking, just dismantling of an astrophysicist. I mean, woo, he was angry. He was upset. And, I, I appreciated it. It's like, God, like someone finally feels the way I feel about this. But, I don't think that's true. I think that it's been bubbling under the surface. Yeah. Like it's been brewing and brewing for a while that this guy has worn out his welcome in the news community and um, the science community and the UFO community. Because he waved bye bye to science long ago. Let's be honest. The guy doesn't put out work. I'm 54. I don't even have a PhD, and I just cranked out my first PhD level academic paper on gravity. Where are you at, Neil? Where are you at? You weren't putting out any papers when you were 54. You were perusing the cheese plate backstage of the Tonight Show. You're not cranking out work. You're not serious. Uh, Abby Loeb calls him an influencer, like a Kardashian. And he skated by for quite a while, I think, on what I like to call weaponized arrogance. You know, weaponized arrogance. This is a guy who he talks down to people, and because he likes to um, misuse his authority as a scientist and as a PhD. He likes to throw it around in subjects that he doesn't belong in. He never stays in his lane. His lane's boring, and he's reached the end. His lane is a dead end, and so now he's got to go out and seek other lanes to get in that he doesn't fit in. Right, and he ran into me head on, full on collision. You know, and he's a smart car, and I'm a semi. Bah, bah. And so here's the thing: how is he popular? And I know I've had people ask me this, and I'm like, I don't. But one of my guesses, based on like his comment section, the people who follow him, they are people who are insecure about their own intellect, and what they do is they follow him, and because he has a type of like weaponized arrogance. It's kind of contagious psychologically. And so if he is arrogant with people who have a certain view, then it allows them, it gives them, basically uh, passive permission to do the same thing. And UFOs are no exception. And he's been very outspoken about that. And he has created this hostile environment. You wouldn't believe. Sorry, excuse me. 1 second. Sorry, you would not believe the crazy shit people say to me online about UFOs, abductions, about me telling them the truth. You would not believe what they say to me. You really wouldn't believe it. You think, oh no, I've heard. No, you've not heard it all. You've not heard it all. Someone today, I've done nothing. I did go over and create a bloodbath over in Dan's comic section, but I'm done with all that. I'm just gonna go out and be my happy self. But today, so it was like, oh, what's wrong? Did the aliens like what they did they do like something to you? Blah blah blah, and they were being really cruel, you know, and And I just said, okay, if you don't want to believe, man, okay, man. Like, all right, I can't, I'm not here to make you believe. I'm here to inform you in case you do believe. I want you to be informed, but I'm not here to convince you. And if you're not convinced, then hey, man, that's on you. That's not on me. But what I don't get, okay, what I don't get is when you want to mock someone's trauma. Like, that's the part that's really weird to me. That's a really weird place to be coming from, because you want to say like all these people are crazy. We're not crazy. Some of us, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the UFO community, I, I worry about them. But I'm a very rock solid person in my life. I have a job. I have a place to live. I have a normal life. I don't need any of this. This is done on my own time and my own time. Right. I don't need this. This is something I feel like I must do because I'm one of the only few who can really do it with some authenticity. And while I'm doing it, people are like, "Oh, what's the matter? Did they did the aliens probe you too deep?" Like, okay, so if you think that that happened, why would that be funny to you? Like, why would like rape or assault or ontological shock? Why would that be funny to you? Because if it was your mother, if it was your sister, if it was you, I bet you wouldn't be laughing, right? But because you don't know me, it's okay. See, that's the kind of thing that his kind of toxic, weaponized arrogance does to a community who are say they're there for science, but what they're really there for is to mock someone else so they can feel superior to them. Period. You look at Simon Dan's channel, and by the way, I'd like to make out the point before I get too far in the weeds here with anything, that we have Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's being called out as a liar, as arrogant, as uh, just a pompous bombast, a person who has mocked and ridiculed firsthand experiencers and witnesses who have bravely come forward. And I'd like to say I am proud to count myself among one of those. I am very proud to count myself as being one of the leaders in the forefront of disclosure and telling what we know, open disclosure at the civilian level. And I feel very happy and grateful for the opportunity to lead that charge. And uh, I consider it an awesome responsibility to bear, and I do the best I can. But if that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson is, what is Simon Dan? Simon Dan is all of those things, but he doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have any experience. He's never investigated it. It's three strikes, you're out, sir. Three strikes, you're out. Next. Oh, who's up? Professor Dave. Oh, okay. What's your degree in again, sir? What is it? Oh, chemistry. Bye bye. You're out. Have you ever experienced an abduction? No. Have you ever investigated UFO sightings? No. Do you have a degree in physics? No. Do you have PhD level knowledge or experience in physics? No. Then get out. Who are these people? Who are these people who are like calling you out? Oh, I'm going to call you out. You're going to call me out, man? You're happy to talk to me? If you remember, Dan said he was happy to talk to me. You notice he's made nothing but flat earth videos since then. Like, dude, you don't want none. And by the way, if you haven't checked it out, go check out the new Sky Files. I dropped a new Sky Files dropped the 5 worst arguments against alien visitation. It's a pretty good video. It's short, but it's very simple. But I think that it's concise, and it gives you some good insight into how science now argues against this subject. They play dirty now. Science is not what it used to be. You know, they won't be so upsetting to you from that. Yeah, no, they don't upset me. You're right. They don't upset me because I realize, who are you? You know, I like a 4-year-old trying to tell me where babies come from. Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? It's so pitiful. And I think that if Neil deGrasse Tyson should be ashamed of himself, then Simon Dan should resign from YouTube, man. You know? Um, and I really appreciate you being here. Introduce yourself when you come in, drop us a like, and support the channel, support someone who's ahead of the curve. It's like I was saying to Chris earlier today, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. And that's what I think everyone sees me as like a crazy person. But I'm only crazy because I'm right first. I said Neil deGrasse Tyson's full of it, that he's the enemy. I wrote a book with his name and his face on the cover, and the man has not said a word. You know why? Because he knows everything I wrote in that book is true, and he doesn't have any way around it. He is nothing but that collection of stale old arguments. Chat GPT could not bail him out of where he's at right now. And, you know, the problem with being smart is that you look crazy to the stupid. I guess, to coin a phrase. Yeah. The problem with being smart is you look crazy to the stupid. And I don't mind. I don't mind because things like this happen where I have physicists like, no, your take on gravity is like, that's something pretty significant. Um, that Ross Coulthart is like, yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is full of it. When I'm doing an interview and somebody who's like really well known, and trust me when I tell you, this is a person you've heard of, you know who they are, and they reached out to me and said, "Man, your evidence, your story, your experiences." These things are important, and the community needs to know you and needs to know who you are. I mean, this has all happened within basically 2 weeks, right? I mean, and it was about 2 weeks ago when I told you the worm has turned, my friends. Something has changed in the energy. I don't know how to explain it, but I've been on a hot streak lately of being right about things. And I'm going to tell you what right now, this is a guy, and I just did it myself to be funny, but give myself my flowers because everybody else has started giving me my flowers. It makes me feel like I don't have to talk about myself so much, that I don't have to, keep like proving over and over and over and over again, like that I know what I'm talking about, that I am legit, that I am being honest, that I do have these skills, that I did have these experiences, that I'm producing work which is relevant, that I am talking about a topic which is extremely important, and I'm trying to do that in a responsible, forthright, and in a way that does not represent greed or cultism in any way. You're my followers. Some of you are my friends, but none of us are a cult, unless you consider the truth a cult, in which case I am your leader, or I would like to be. But you know, things have started to turn around now. You see, I used to be the little guy. Yeah, this has been my whole life. At one time, I was not the hulking behemoth that you see before you today. There was a time when I was a little tiny, scrawny, asthmatic kid that got picked on and bullied by everyone. I was tiny and scrawny and asthmatic and autistic and weird. I got picked on quite a bit. And then one day, well, I just figured out a way to choke out the biggest kid I could find on the playground right in front of everyone. And then after that, it seemed like people didn't want to bother me as much anymore. It seemed like after that, you got some respect on the playground. This book, Cosmic Blind Spot, this is the chokehold that I've applied to Neil deGrasse Tyson, the bully of the science playground, the biggest mouth in the yard. This is the chokehold I've applied to him, and I know it's worked because he can't make a sound. They gave him the beating, not that he deserved, but the one that he needed. And so people keep saying you're weak, you're this, you're that. Oh, okay. Where's your science paper on gravity that got sent to Avi Loeb and he approved of it, or Dr. Ruth Kastner from the University of Maryland and Cambridge, or uh, where's your bestseller books? Dan has a book club. I write the books that people like him put in their book club. You know what I mean? Like it's so weird that he's like talking down to I'm the tinfoil hat. You're a tinfoil head, bro. Like, at least I have a brain in here. I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. But you notice one thing, he doesn't really want to debate me. He doesn't really want to because he won't email me back. He won't answer his subscribers who are demanding that he debate me because they erroneously believe in him. Yeah. And the thing is that I'm not really debating him. Anyway, even if he agreed to it, I would be debating Chat GPT. I would be debating Professor Dave and Sideman. I would be debating Culture Cats and any other person that he could wrangle in to tag in to try to take me on. Because, well, here's the problem. The problem is that I have experience, I have the education, and I've actually investigated UFOs. I'm a former MUFON field investigator. I've investigated my sightings, my experiences, and that of others. And I've read a million case files. I've been out on investigations. I've experienced the phenomenon, and I have a PhD level understanding of physics. That makes me really hard to handle. And so that's why I'm like one. I feel like in the debate world, I feel like one of those tropical tree frogs. The ones that are all brightly colored. And they just sit out on the tree like they're not worried about anything because if someone even touches them, they're going to drop dead. And that's how it is with me in the debate world. None of these people, they'll yeah in their comments or to their subscribers or in a one sided conversation video, but they won't bring any of this stuff to me. They step into my dojo, they're going to get handled. Okay? They're going to get handled like a like an all you can eat buffet where Steven Seagal's invited. Handled. I guarantee you. And it's not because I'm so great, it's because I have the physics on my side. I have an understanding. They can't double talk me in science. I know your science. I know the misuse of science. I know how to debate, and I've actually gone through it. And I've investigated others who have. This is the court. They've done none of these things, and so these people have what we call in the scientific world no standing. They have no standing, right? And I think that after my last email, I think we broke Dan. Unfortunately, I think we broke Daniel because he won't respond to me, his subscribers. He won't make another video. He won't respond to my debate video that I made just for him to make it even easier. I think that he realized, I think this guy, I think I better leave this guy alone. And you right. You right. Why do you think I've been egging this on, trying so hard to get you to debate me? Because I know that once you do, it's over. It's over. There's nothing you're going to say that I'm not going to just absolutely samurai cut in half instantly. This blue eyed samurai will cut through all your paper tigers. And then at the end of it, all that will be left standing is you and your ignorance and your obvious ego and gaslighting and lies and your lack of true scientific understanding. Yeah. You will be seen as the remedial person that you are. When you make videos and your level of expertise begins and ends at the shape of the planet, which is the same shape as all the rest of the planets, you're not an expert on science. He wants to wrap himself in the flag of scientific skepticism. What it really means is he's not smart enough to make up his own mind. And I think there's a lot of people like that, and that's okay. But let's be real about that at the end of the day. We need to say, I don't know enough to say. It sounds weird to me. I've never experienced it or known anyone who has. And so it's foreign to me. Get that too. That's fine, you know. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, people like Simon Dan, Professor Dave, whoever, you want to deny the reality of people who have gone through the unimaginable, survived it, and then brave enough to tell you, despite knowing ahead of time what the response will be. We are people you cannot tangle with. We have a level of strength that you cannot comprehend. I am an army of one. It's never been about numbers. It's about the one that is listening who says, that guy right there, I want to talk to him. That guy right there is honest. That guy right there is not in it for money. That guy is producing work. This guy is the goods. He's got the chops. I have it all. Cold blooded, clean, methodical, and thorough. You're not going to, I don't miss. So all I'm saying is that I'm willing to take on anyone, any name that you can name for any amount you can count when it comes to this topic. No one, and I legitimately mean this, no one beats me in a debate on this topic because the truth cannot be beaten. It can be hidden, it can be disguised, but at the end of the day, veritas, hmm, the truth shall set you free. And today was Vindication Day for me. Ross Coulthart on News Nation, who formerly had on Michio Kaku and Neil deGrasse Tyson talking to people about steal an ashtray off the ship. Grab the knob off a stereo. What are you talking about? You can tell these people are grasping at straws when when the best advice that an astrophysicist can give you during an alien abduction is to steal a knob off of something and stick it in your pocket. Take something from the alien spacecraft and stick it in your pocket. Wow. Wow. And this goes to show you something. This is a confession on their part that they're out of ideas when it comes to researching this topic. And they keep saying that, well, UFO abductions aren't proven. Right, because science does not make it possible to prove. Consider this, and this will be kind of my last thought before I get out of here. I have an appointment with Dr. Ink, and I don't want to be late. But uh, you could not ask any of these scientists how they would go about proving an alien abduction if it happened to them. And they would not be able to prove it to their own standards. Think about that. So that's not science. That's a lack of awareness, and I believe it is purposeful. They do not want to have to pick up their end of this very heavy couch, and I don't blame you. But I've been holding mine for about 20 years now. It's about time science got down there and picked up their end of the couch, and let's get this thing moving. Because the science they have is inadequate, and they do not want to admit this. People say, oh, science this, science that. Science is run by people. Churches are run by people. Governments are run by people. And because these things are run by people, they are inherently flawed and tend toward the side of sickness in the world. Do not talk to me of the virtues of science because it is dictated by the virtues of men. These same scientists who say that your abductions didn't happen because you can't prove it according to the scientific method, can't prove it if it happened to them by their own method. Is that my failure or is that science's failure? I'll let you be the judge. Okay? I'll let you be the judge of that. But as for me, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter than usual. I have a very early day tomorrow, and I have a lot of outside work to do. Preparation for some big things coming up in the future. So busy, busy, busy. But I had to stop by for this Friday night, celebrate with you. Kind of, you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to gloat a little. Man, I'm tired of being right. Okay. But I'm very glad to see everyone. And I hope you have a really, really great rest of your night and a great weekend. Chris, great to see you. Garrett, as always. Anybody else who stops in, hi. Hi. RL Pool. And I'm the author of this book that I think Ross Coulthart is going to invest in, buy stock in this book, Cosmic Blind Spot, Why Neil deGrasse Tyson is Wrong About UFOs. And it's on Amazon. And I provide links all over the place. And if you don't know, ask a friend. But, guys, the worm has turned. And, for a minute there, man, for a split second, I thought about giving it all up. But then I heard this voice that said, it's always darkest before the dawn. Hang in there. Dawn is coming. And ladies and gentlemen, ladles and jelly spoons, dawn is here. It's the dawn of a new day. And I say, let's not waste a moment of it. Let's keep pushing. Subscribe. Please support, like, share, talk about it. Mention my name. Make some good trouble in the world, will ya? Go make some good trouble. Everyone likes to make trouble. Go make some good trouble and start mentioning my name to people and see how they react. We need representatives and we need people who are doing this for the right reasons. And guys, I'm doing this for you. So give me that support and I'll give you my efforts. Okay. So have a great weekend and I'll see you guys really soon. All right. Love you. Bye.